Anti-Afro Svengalis. I wanted to make sure I put this out there because it needs to be said. Do you really believe that those who got money from Dumpsey D. Derell, and I'm excluding everybody in the B sector because it's a drop in the hat. Anything anyone got over there is a drop in the hat compared to what Dumpsey D. Derell was doing in that Umar Johnson sector. Dumpsey D. Derell, I'm here to tell you people, was literally carrying other subjects, not supporting, carrying them, giving them thousands upon thousands of dollars offline, not just for YouTube content. He was giving folks thousands of dollars. We all know about TCTV. It was far more than $2,500. TCTV spent his time in gambling halls. He used Dumpsey D. Derell for cash. Let me be very clear about this. Their names came up, and there were some others, Fold Up Body and some others. Their names coming up constantly, continuously, linked back to YouTube. You mean to tell me that the feds didn't hit up any of these subjects? If I had to put money on this, I would say they have, but they're not going to come to YouTube and say it. Why would they come to YouTube and tell anyone that the feds hit them up about Dumpsey D. Derell? That would be admitting defeat. That would mean there's another fine feather in our caps. And we have a whole row of them, not just one. They're defeated. They're angry. They're lashing out because this is real deal. And they try to say it was phony because they're angry. They don't want to accept that they were caught up in the scheme. The bums were caught up in the schemes, getting money from another bum who was stealing. That's what it was. How the hell would you feel if you got all of this money from someone who was stealing it? I never believed for any amount of time that the title he claims other people gave him was just a YouTube persona. No, it wasn't. This is what he was living by. He wanted everybody to think he had quick, ready access to cash, but the money wasn't his. I have said it over again. You can't be an even halfway decent mental health provider spending so much time on YouTube. I'm talking about you're on YouTube, physically on it, physically in live stream after live stream after live stream after live stream. That's what Dumpsey D. Derell was doing, and he was going live from his office. How are you in an office freaking 5 hours a day on YouTube and swearing up and down that you're helping all these clients? I was always suspicious. Exactly what it was, I didn't know until the complaint came out, but I knew he wasn't doing the work. You can't do the work sitting in an office 5 hours a day, googly-eyeing on YouTube, jumping on panels on YouTube, talking shit on YouTube. How is your mind even in a position to help anybody if you're sitting on YouTube 5 hours a day from your office? You got to be catching up on things that need to be addressed with other agencies. You have to be following up with people. You have to be doing so many things. You have to make sure your timelines are met. You have to make sure all your notes and your assessments is so much stuff than people calling you. How the hell are you doing that sitting on a freaking YouTube screen for so many hours? Because what he did, he turned on that computer, started typing, put in his login name, filled out that form, and hit send. That's what he did. Then came back and got on another live stream. There are times you have to go to some other location other than your office. What if the person's not able to come and see you for any given reason? You need to go to see them, wherever they are. None of that is anything that Dumpsey gave any indication that he was doing. He spent so much time in that office and was always lying about all these people working for him. Really? Where are all these people? They didn't exist until it was time to steal their NPI numbers and bill. That's what he needed them for, to hijack their NPI numbers so he can submit billing and steal the money. Obviously, he lied. He kept saying he has all these people working for him. No. 2 people who were working for Dumpsey D. Derell, the FBI interviewed them and they quit. I bet you this is one of the women that quit.
On the phone saying that they had an appointment with you in Houston and they're at the office. You saw her you saw him like 2 weeks ago, and I think you may have made the other appointment.
I didn't make an appointment with.
Do you remember him?
Yeah. Oh, hold on. Just keep it on hold. Give me 1 second. And I remembered him. I told him to call, but what you're gonna tell him is this: tell him that I'm in a lot of traffic, and I'm look like I'm not gonna be able to make it in time, and we're gonna have to reschedule. But he really didn't. He because basically, I remember I told him I was not going to be available next week, and I told him he was going to have to contact you to set the appointment, because I'm not doing it because now that I mess up when I do it myself, and I just brought everybody to call you now instead of me doing it, and I gave him your number and everything. Matter of fact, didn't he make the appointment himself? Yeah, so I didn't do that. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let him know I'm not gonna be there. It's gonna be maybe 45 minutes, and we better off rescheduling for next week. All right. Okay, guys, I'm back. Had to take care of a business situation.
Yeah. Remember that? Remember all of that. Dumpsey D. Derell was constantly looking into the camera in his office. He doesn't want to do any work. He's such a great counselor. What is the reason he took a job driving people around to appointments? And yes, people need to go to their appointments. I'm not knocking the fact that he actually did that. But I thought he had all this money and had all these people working for him. It's only relatively recently, within the last maybe year or so, he started to appear less on YouTube. He never stopped lying about me, Rev G, AFW, friends and supporters, and innocent bystanders. He kept on doing the same old shit and lying. The lies never stopped. Kept trying to say we were involved with what he was going through. And I've also noticed the flunky bums, the bum flunkies, however you want to describe them. It's not that they don't want to talk about the case, is they're acting very skittish and nervous. And someone told me that idiot sexual harasser TCTV is trying to act like he's in charge of YouTube and going to tell me where I can appear and what I can say and who should have me where. I believe these flunky bums were interviewed. These flunky bums were hit up because of all of the money Dumpsey gave them. Like I said, it was far beyond $2,500. Fold up bodies acting like he's hiding under a slimy rock where he should stay and never should have come out from under. Quiet. And I stated it before. I'll state it again, like I just said it a second ago. It doesn't make any difference whether or not they talk about Dumpsey D. Derell. I don't give a crap about no explanation about a friend. Dumpsey D. Derell was never any friend. Dumpsey D. Derell stole money to pay flunkies to do his dirty work. That is not friendship. The only reason why they are so angry about this whole thing is because it clearly makes it undeniable that, again, we are victorious and we will remain victorious over the abusers. What goes around comes around. And I'll say this, people steal a lot. We know theft is the most common of all problems. That's not justifying it. That's not excusing it. But every single thief that ever stole, provider that has hijacked money from the feds, every single solitary one can't be caught. But Dumpsey sure was. Every single one can't be brought to trial. Every single one can't be ordered to shut down their business. But Dumpsey has been. And I am so ecstatic that he has been held accountable for his actions. I believe that those flunky bums were hit up by the FBI. They will never say Dumpsey is the one who decided to do what he did. He made a decision to do what he did, which was steal money over the course of multiple years. And for that, he's being held to answer. And for that, yes, he deserves a prison term. The crime calls for a prison term. Why in the world will Dumpsey get an exception to a prison term? Where? Under what justification? He already stole money. This is not Dumpsey D. Derell's first time at the thieving, bumming ass rodeo. All of Dumpsey D. Derell's flunkies who ever got money, it's their worst nightmare because their shit was looked into. Guarantee you, the FBI went up all into their shit and looked into their bank records. They looked into everything, and you don't get notification if somebody's asking for your bank records. They can get into your bank records without you knowing. Can't protect yourselves against criminal behavior if you're engaging in criminal behavior. You can't protect yourself from the consequences of criminal behavior. More than likely, you're going to get caught. And they got caught. And Dumpsey D. Derell got caught right along with his wife, the convicted child abuser, Latasha. The facts are the facts. It's unbearable. It is so unbearable to swing around with all these lies, thinking you're going to make some impact because you're telling hideous lies on others and slandering people and attacking their families. Look what happened. Who's facing the prison sentence? None of those that were targeted for Dumpsey D. Derell's attacks. He is the only one indicted by a federal grand jury and facing at the very minimum 2 years in a federal penitentiary. You don't have any idea how much I look forward to the day where I can go to the Bureau of Prisons, type in Dempsey Spears, and have it come up. Voila. It'll be so satisfying. It's satisfying because he said, I'm a criminal. He said, I'm stealing money. Whoever was stealing money needs to get caught and punished and fully recognized for what they did. It needs to be put in its proper perspective. I want to be able to do a search in the Bureau of Prisons on this website. I want to look in here and type in Dempsey Spears, and I want that name to come up. That'll be the best present I could ever get. This is like the ultimate vindication. He needs to sit his ass in a prison cell. He deserves to be in a prison cell. That's the bottom line. Why in the hell should I feel sorry for Dumpsey D. Derell when all he did was slander me, Rev G, AFW friends and supporters? And look who's facing the federal indictment for healthcare fraud and aggravated identity theft. I'm sure they're mad because he can't steal money for them anymore. Who's going to pay for TCTV's gambling debts when he sits in gambling halls all day long? He's just hoping he won't hear from Dumpsey D. Derell's lawyer asking for all the money back, all of it. Nothing was paid back, people. This is why TCTV is so mad. I'm going to keep talking about it. I wasn't indicted by the federal grand jury. Dumpsey D. Derell was, and serves him right for paying for Catherine Brown to file the bogus-ass lawsuit. I can't wait for more to roll out. I will be covering all of it. All of it. I'm not going to shut up. I'm not going anywhere. It doesn't matter whether or not I'm on a panel or in the chat. I'm still going to talk about Dumpsey D. Derell being arrested and charged in federal court with 9 counts He did what he did. He got busted before, and here we are again now. The flunky bums running scared because they know they got stolen money, benefited from stolen money. Them not dealing with reality has nothing to do with me dealing with reality or speaking the truth. Them lying and running around making up all these stories is separate and apart from me making sure the truth is dispensed. And coming up here, like I said, he was raided. 2 offices in the home. And here we are under federal grand jury indictment. I have so much more coming your way. In the meantime, buyer beware.